All right, welcome back to the KnivesFAST channel. Guys, let's get started by saying hi to Ren, Stimpy, and Powder Test Man, and Loggin TV right here on the KnivesFAST channel. If you are not subscribed, please consider doing so. What is laying before you is the Benchmade Anthem with an MXG gear deep carry clip anodized blue by Jeremy Freaks Show EDC, who sent this along for me to check out. And we're going to start with a bold statement 27 seconds into the video. Best Benchmade I have gotten my hands on, period, end of story. There's the focus. And now you can see it. This thing is pretty daggone sweet. There's some things to talk about, of course, but it is very, very nice. Now, these are discontinued. So why am I reviewing it? I'm reviewing it because I want to talk about it. I want to talk about why it's good. I want to talk about, you know, things about this knife. So we're not going to treat this sort of like a normal review, but we kind of are at the same time. When it was in price, it was $450. This is a titanium integral. Wow, I said it right. And you can see a couple screws there we'll talk about in a minute, but this is a full integral. And again, there's the MXG gear deep carry clip, all anodized, the titanium and the clip, well, which is titanium, anodized by Jeremy Freak Show. Now, I love this scalloped pattern in the scales. Wow. So cool. I like the thumb studs. I like the looks of this knife. I like the fact that it's a Axis style lock. It's done a little bit more differently on this one. Very, very cool. Now, these were 20 CV. Well, this one is 20 CV. And 3.66 ounces. The blade thickness is just 0.11, thin and slicey, and it's even got a crowned, partially, you know, it is crowned, but it's just not as aggressive as some crown spots. The weight is 3.66. I already said that. The handle length is 4.56. And the blade length is 3.5 for an overall length of 8.06. Now, wow, did you just see that? It just, if you get it right, snaps out there. Now, it's a spring, you know, it's not a D10, it's a spring that makes this knife go in and out. It is a little bit on the light side, but if you just hit it, it's gone. I mean, it is absolutely gone. I've heard people say it's too light. I mean, it's light, but it's not. I mean, look at this. This is an amazing fidgety knife. And like I said, the best Benchmade I've had my hands on. It is tip up, left and right, very, very thin carry. Great to get your hand down in there. No problem whatsoever. This blue is ridiculous. Jeremy did a great job. You have a stonewash blade, a great drop point looking blade. Actually, did they list this as a drop or did they list it as something else? I just always like to make sure because everybody's got a different definition, but yeah, it's a drop point. It's wearing Jeremy's edge, no finger choil, great sharpening choil. Benchmade logo on this side and 20 CV and benchmade.com/something there. I am absolutely blind, so we're going to pull this out here, and it doesn't do me any good. But anyway, you can read it, I'm sure. So there you go, guys, the Anthem. Now, we'll do one quick comparison, and then we'll move on to why I want to spend some time talking about this knife. It is basically the size of a Paramilitary 2. There is your comparison. That's the only one we're going to do in this particular case. I just love this knife. Now, as you can see, either just by flipping your wrist and opening it like this, or by thumb flicking it and then bringing it back in. This thing is absolutely incredible on there. Now, what makes this one different? Normally, the spring is an Omega spring. This is just a coiled spring that is screwed to a block. The block is screwed into the back of this guy, and you can see it is just a coiled spring. So when I operate this, we are compressing that spring in and out, moving the bar lock in and out. So it's still a bar lock or an Axis lock. It's just integral, and it's done differently with the spring, which is probably the reason that it's a looser spring. But you can see this guy just, look at that. I was still holding the axis bar. It just goes home, guys. It is perfectly tuned. To me, I wouldn't mess with this pivot. You know, I didn't look. Is this guy running on? It's got to be running on bearings. It's not going to tell me. Well, I'm just going to say it's running on bearings because it's running on bearings. It has to be. But it is just so well done. This guy, and then let's talk ergos. So the only ding I would give it here is that this, you can feel these come to a point here, and it's not chamfered quite as well as it should be, and you just feel that in your grip just a little bit. But as far as it cradling my hand and just being a great cutting ergo feel, it is amazing. Don't feel the pocket clip. Again, that's when I'm bearing down. If I'm not bearing down, it feels really, really good in that grip. By the way, a little bit, I always like to show a little bit of handle left over, but not a whole lot. Great, great size. Now, lockup is wonderful. No blade play, no lock rock. Just phenomenally done. Dead centered. Again, okay, so let's talk about it. I would love to see this redone. Now, I think they mostly came in like a bronze look or maybe a raw titanium look as well. I would love to see this redone, but I like for Benchmade to be creative. I'd like to see them come out with maybe an aluminum, an aircraft aluminum version, or something to bring that price down. Maybe even try a lower level steel. Bring this down to the everyman's pocket. In that normal Benchmade, you know, I'm not asking you to bring it down the hundreds, but bring it in somewhere where we can all attain it. Because at $450, I think that might be why it was discontinued. Now, I don't know about you guys. If they made it and it wasn't even an integral, but it, you know, was open and had a back, you know, so now it's a different knife, of course. But just make a version of this that's sort of can come in the everyman's pocket. And I bet you this guy would sell like hotcakes. I would definitely be in line for one. This is by far the best Benchmade I've had my hands on so far. And I've had my hands on quite a few. So there you go, guys. That is my look at the Benchmade Anthem from Freak Show EDC. Check him out. Great, great dude. I don't know what else to say. I just absolutely love this knife. And by the way, since it is that 0.11 of an inch as far as blade thickness, this guy is a cutter, okay? Now, I'm not going to do it. There you go. You see that? Look. I mean, this would be a cardboard demolition machine. You know, well, that's me. But there you go. So, just absolutely shreds paper, cardboard, whatever you want it to shred. And I would love to have one of these. By the way, where your thumb comes up here on that rounded or crown spine feels terrific. So there you go. The Benchmade Anthem and a lot of cardboard everywhere just to get it into frame here so you can see all the mess I made. There is the Benchmade Anthem. What a great knife. Thank you, Jeremy, for sending it along. Guys, let me know what you think. If you had an Anthem, would you buy one if it was more accessible? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. And guys, please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching the Knives Fast channel.